tested positive for COVID-19.
The governor taking to Twitter after his COVID diagnosis, what he's saying about the COVID-19 vaccine, and the messages from San Antonio city leaders and residents coming up as this battle over masking intensifies.
And neighbors shaken up after a drive-by shooting sends 2 local teens to the hospital. Emotions tonight running high after a hail of gunfire comes down on one community. But first,
just how long will it last? The pandemic can last a few more months or a few more years. Warnings tonight from health officials about the continued roller coaster of waves and exhaustion our healthcare workers are facing and have already faced.
Now, Mayor Nirenberg confirming our hospital saw 209 new COVID patients. Of those, 24 are pediatric patients, showing children are left vulnerable without a vaccine.
Urgent care centers also feeling the pressure as they try to help with testing, vaccinations, and treatments. The 9 Team's Patty Santos reports.
1,200 daily patient visits at 19 Texas Med clinics in Bexar, Travis, and Comal counties.
We're actually seeing numbers that are slightly above what we were seeing this time last year in August.
About 600 of those are requests for COVID-19 testing. Another 100 are vaccine visits daily. Other illnesses keeping many non-24-hour clinic staff in till the wee hours of the morning. But Dr. David Good, COO and practicing physician, says his staff is hanging on.
We're fortunate our staff is really maintaining a positive attitude. I think it'd probably be a lot more discouraging in a hospital setting where they're probably seeing much sicker people and having to deal with much more challenging problems than we are on a day-to-day basis.
The number of registered nurses who asked to become inactive this year has nearly doubled compared to last year. There's been a 91% increase in the inactive status notices, and that's only 3/4 of the data so far collected by the Texas Board of Nursing. Mental Health says an end to the pandemic is in the hands of the unvaccinated. The fear is the Delta variant will morph yet again.
It's tight. Do we want to be in this for another few months, or do we want to be in the pandemic for another year or more? A lot of it depends on how much we get vaccinated now.
And the Texas Med Clinic says they started collecting data in May, pediatric cases that they're seeing in preparation of what they expect will be a surge of students infected once classrooms open up again. They also tell us they try to keep walk-in slots available for regular sick patients who just simply can't get into the hospitals. Steve, Jackie?
Patty, thank you. Governor Greg Abbott sharing his message after his diagnosis with COVID-19. The positive test result coming one day after he attended an event in Collin County. He was in a room with many maskless individuals. All pictures the governor posted on Twitter. While Governor Greg Abbott has advocated for optional mask wearing, he did make a point to mention that he himself is fully vaccinated.
Also want you to know that I have received the COVID-19 vaccine, and that may be one reason why I'm really not feeling any symptoms right now. I have no fever, no aches and pains, no other types of symptoms.
Bexar County commissioners saying that they are sending their thoughts and prayers to the governor. He says COVID-19 doesn't discriminate, and he highlighted the importance of taking precautions like mask wearing, even if you're vaccinated. San Antonio, meanwhile, also responding to the governor's diagnosis.
Really? See, that's what I'm saying. That's scary.
Hopefully he'll be fine. I mean, President Trump got it, and he was an old man too, so, hopefully he'll be okay.
I feel bad for him, and I just pray for him. But mask, I mean, everybody should wear one.
Mayor Nirenberg also encouraging mask wearing as well as the vaccine. This as our hospitals continue to treat more than 1,000 COVID patients. Tonight, 1,383 COVID patients are hospitalized. 370 are in the ICU. 244 are on ventilators. 89% of patients are unvaccinated.
The debate over the mask mandate has local school districts struggling with how to respond amid an evolving legal battle between Bexar County and the state of Texas. Tonight, Metro Health confirming they have spoken with several school district leaders, some saying they are strongly encouraging but not mandating masks because they've already received threatening letters from the Texas Attorney General's office. Yesterday's ruling allows Bexar County to mandate masks in Bexar County schools. although it's expected to be challenged all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. One school district in Texas actually making masks a part of their school uniform. The Texas Tribune reporting tonight the Paris Independent School District in Northeast Texas finalizing that decision today. The district's Board of Trustees voted to add masks to the district's dress code as a way to get around the legal matter. Our coronavirus coverage continues online on KSAT.com. The state actually preparing for the possibility of a rise in COVID-related deaths by sending 5 refrigerated trucks to Bexar County. Now, they're not all for San Antonio and Bexar County. Our centralized location chosen as the holding site for these trailers to help with deployment to different areas within the state if needed. You can read more about this story on KSAT.com.
To some tragic news right now. 2 teens are in the hospital tonight after a drive-by shooting rocked a northeast side neighborhood this evening. San Antonio police say the suspect got away in a mid-sized silver vehicle. I spoke with neighbors who described what they heard.
All of a sudden, I heard pop shots. It was just like pow, 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 pow. It was like rapid.
Gunshots, 20 rounds off.
I heard it and I thought it was thunder. And my husband said that people were just screaming.
It was quite the scene for what neighbors say is normally a peaceful neighborhood here on Tranquil Dawn. San Antonio police say it was the exact opposite of tranquil. Someone in a silver vehicle drove up and opened fire on 2 boys, 16 and 17. They were just walking along the street.
I came running out to see what the heck was going on because, yeah, I have kids too, so I was like, what the heck?
This neighbor who asked not to go on camera wasn't the only concerned parent. Another woman who also wanted to remain anonymous said her sons were in the garage playing basketball.
To hear this and to know now, I can't have my kids coming outside playing on the street or running up and down or training, it's definitely scary.
The 2 teens were rushed to BAMC.
One of them is in surgery, the other one's in triage.
I'm very sad for these people and I pray for them.
Emotions high among neighbors.
It's angry. Little kids killing each other.
With the COVID and everything happening, we don't need any more of this violent stuff going on, okay?
San Antonio police say they do not have any details to release on a possible suspect at this time, but they did say that they're reviewing surveillance video captured at nearby homes. At last check, the 2 teens are still in critical condition.
Now to a story we've been following all afternoon and evening. Right now, the search is still on for an armed man who took his own child by force. That boy later found. The suspect still trying to hide from Bexar County deputies tonight, apparently. It all started at a home on Climbing Vine Street. That's in far west Bexar County. Deputies say the suspect assaulted a woman he shares a child with, then hit another man with a gun before a gunshot went off. No one was hit. Deputies say the man did take his own child before speeding away in his vehicle. The chase was called off. The suspect ended up at an apartment complex parking lot on Wurzbach Road. There, Sheriff Javier Salazar says deputies found the armed man who ran off again.
He dumped a backpack that did have 2 weapons in it, but we believe he is still armed. One of our deputies did catch up with him on foot shortly here at the complex, and he was able to tase him, but the taser had very little effect, and the suspect kept running on foot.
So he got away. The man's son was found and is safe with family tonight. The sheriff says they know who the suspect is. They're encouraging him to turn himself over to deputies.
Counselors being made available after a high school teacher's arrest. 34-year-old Emily Marie Anderson accused of having sex with a 15-year-old student. Investigators are concerned there could be more victims. Anderson was hired as a special education inclusion support teacher and assistant cheer sponsor at Kenyon High School. Her arrest yesterday happening as this investigation continues. Anyone who believes they are also a victim is asked to call the New Braunfels Police Department at the number on your screen. That number 830-221-4100. Anderson is booked at the Comal County Jail on a $50,000 bond.
Shots fired at a pregnant woman. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say this is the man who pulled the trigger. 28-year-old Javante Backham was walked before our cameras today shortly after his arrest. He's facing 2 felony charges tonight. Investigators say the arrest comes days after that attack. Deputies say it all started Friday when Backham got into an argument with his ex, who's 8 months pregnant. At some point, investigators say Bacham fired a gun towards the victim's car, shattering the windshield. The glass ended up cutting the pregnant woman and left her temporarily blind. She eventually managed to get help. 2 days later, investigators caught up with Bacham at Calabria Road and Military Drive. Deputies tried to pull him over, but Bacham sped away with a woman and several children. Because children were in the vehicle, deputies decided not to give chase. Then just this morning, law enforcement was able to arrest Bacham at a business near I-35 and Ridman Road. He's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and assault on a pregnant person. A press conference from the Taliban as they take over the country of Afghanistan. The new leaders sending a message to women and U.S. citizens surrounded by Taliban checkpoints in Kabul. What U.S. troops say is the next phase in the evacuation process coming up.
And one man patrolling parking lots in a spree of armed robberies in New Braunfels. The places police say he hit and how he finally ended up in handcuffs. That's next on the Night Beat.